We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
If you are choosing people out of loneliness, then you too are using people for your own benefit. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast, where the goal is to rise above it all, stay elevated, create that infinity, and up your you. I'm your host, Isaiah. Happy September. Happy pre-fall. I think fall starts officially in the middle or end of September. But for me, I think September 1st always marks the day of change, right? Change in the seasons, change in my energy. I always say like fall and spring are my two big change seasons. I think in fall I get very focused. I accept. There's a lot of acceptance that I embrace. There are a lot of changes that transition, especially over the summer months. It's weird. Summer typically kind of addresses a lot of things for me. And then fall, it kind of puts things into place. It's almost like visually, there's like a bunch of moving pieces on a puzzle canvas, and they all just kind of slowly sink into where they belong. That's how I like to see my energy in the fall. All the pieces fit, and they just kind of like, they settle in. And that's how I like to approach this season, because I really do get focused. I take a good look at what I've learned. I take a good look at what I want to bring into the new year. And it's just interesting. It really is an interesting time for me, and I take it to heart. I really do take it to heart. And it's so funny. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or because I'm just having more conversations or I'm just listening. But, I love the fact that relationships universally are becoming more of a topic because, there's so much information that we're inundated with around romantic partnerships. However, I think we're starting to incorporate friendship into the fold as a necessity and as something that's worth working on. But I also have recognized that there is this very interesting double standard or just kind of appropriation of just being with people because, and something that I really hear is like people are quote unquote friends with other people that they don't even like. And I'm like, how the hell does that make sense? Because it goes against what a friend actually is. And furthermore, there has been, people who will openly admit that they are, they may still engage with a certain group of friends or whatever, just out of fear of not wanting to be alone. And I'm like, that is very interesting and revealing because this also happens in partnerships, right? And it's not something that people readily talk about. And for a lot of reasons, out of fear of embarrassment, but also if we are honest that we are with somebody because we don't want to be alone, then we have to openly admit that we are also using someone, right? And there is, I think oftentimes when we are in relationship dynamics, there's this desire to separate good versus evil, right? I'm a good person because I'm not doing anything malicious, and they're a bad person because they did A, B, and C, or they didn't do A, B, and C. However, when we are choosing people out of loneliness versus out of intention, we are also using them. Okay. And you can take that however you want, but you are using another individual. All right. And I think to go even further, when we understand how that works, we are keeping someone from their truth, and we are also not being truthful. I think I've read so many times on the internet how people have, they talk about how they they have different friends for different things. And it's like, oh yeah, this is a friend that I can't trust with anything, but we still have a good time. And I'm like, why the hell would you be friends with somebody that you can't trust? Why would you label somebody a friend that you cannot trust them? That is the foundation of the relationship, trust, okay? In a romantic partnership, why would you be in a romantic relationship with a person you can't trust? A lot of times people have those dynamics, yes, but it's like out of fear, right? But friendship, like society has shown us, friendship is one of those things that is not really a high priority on a totem pole. Okay, so why would we actively choose a relationship out of fear when in actuality society already tells us that those relationships are not important enough to even keep around? They are, like, friendship is really important. However, society doesn't deem it as important. So why are you choosing these people, especially if you don't like them, right? I've heard a lot of times people are friends with people that they don't like. And that blows my mind. I'm like, how and why? And then you hear it a little bit deeper is because they are alone. They don't want to be by themselves. And what a revelation, okay? What a revelation. But I want you to also recognize and understand that when you are choosing people out of loneliness, you are also perpetuating a space of loneliness, okay? You are also perpetuating a space of loneliness. And you don't get any better. Okay, you don't get any better. And energetically, what we need to recognize is that we are not fully being honest with this other person. We are not saying, hey, I don't really rock with you, but I have you around so I can feel better. Okay, I have you around for my benefit. Okay.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
I really want you to understand what your relationships as of late have been reflecting back to you. Okay? Do they literally showcase the truth? Do they showcase the truth of who you want to be? Do they showcase the integrity that you say you walk with? Okay? What do they actually reveal about how you navigate your relationships? Okay? And I've also heard people say, well, yeah, they'd rather be with someone else because they fear being abandoned. Okay, so they will hold on to a certain relationship. All right. We have to understand that if we do not like ourselves, we will not find people that genuinely like us either. You just won't. Okay. And you may even bypass people that do value you because you would rather cultivate relationships with people that you don't value and also who don't value you in return. Our relationships will hold up a mirror to how we navigate life, period. And I think it's so necessary to be honest about what dynamic you are creating for your life and if it aligns with what you say you want. Because we have to understand that we are always affecting and impacting other people. We really are, okay? And I've heard sometimes people say, well, yeah, I don't want to break this off, or I don't want to tell them this because I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's not their feelings you don't want to hurt. You don't want to be uncomfortable with making certain decisions and the consequences that come with that. All right. So we have to be a little bit more mindful of the dynamics that we are creating in our lives, and also what we are creating in other people's lives, because time is currency, right? So when we are engaging in relationship with one another, we are taking each other's time, right? It's currency. We are taking up each other's time. Okay. So if you are constantly keeping somebody around that you don't like, you don't trust, you don't even really care about, you are taking time from them. Okay. You are holding up space. You are standing in the doorway of their life, and you are probably doing the same things that you say that you don't like being done to you, just because you do not want to be alone. Work on your relationship with yourself so you can recognize what kind of relationships am I actually cultivating in life versus what I say I want. I just thought that was something that was interesting. You know, there have been a lot more people who are, whether they realize it or not, admitting what is the foundation of the connections that they exist in. And a lot of times it's loneliness. People do not want to be alone. People fear it. And I think society tells us that it is bad to be with yourself until you find actual healthy relationships. But like, to be with yourself, immediately you're ostracized or you're condemned, or it's like you are a know nothing. I saw this post recently where there was she's a psychologist expert, and someone posted that, you know, this person has been married, they haven't had kids, but they're going to tell somebody else how to be one, or they're going to tell somebody else about marriage and whatever. Basically saying, for you, how are you going to tell somebody about a relationship if you're not in one? And I think we need to be a little bit more honest, because if that's the only prerequisite that determines somebody's ability to navigate relationships properly, is whether or not they're in a relationship, then we are doing a disservice. And there is a certain level of ignorance that we are showcasing about ourselves. Okay? Because if we look at the world, not every relationship is a healthy one. And just because somebody is in one, again, doesn't mean that they are in it for the right reasons. Sometimes they're in it out of fear of loneliness. They are in it out of fear of codependency. They are in it out of fear of familiarity, but not necessarily for intentionality and maturity and health. Okay, so to say that somebody is inexperienced or unable to give healthy advice or critique because they don't have a certain thing is false. Okay. You know, sometimes the healthiest people are currently not in relationship. The reason why is because they are working on themselves to be able to step into a relationship in the best way possible. Okay. But to say that somebody is more of an expert because they continually exist in multiple relationships, or they've had the same relationship forever, it doesn't mean that that relationship is functioning off of anything healthy. All right, so I just want you to be more mindful about who you were choosing in life and why. And be really honest. Be really honest, because I think the more honest you get with yourself, the more honest you will, the more honest of relationships you will have naturally. And speaking from personal experience, right? The more honest I am about just what I want in life and how I show up, the more honest my relationships will reflect that back. And that's the goal. We all say we want healthy relationships, but sometimes we are not being honest enough to cultivate that on our end. All right. So just something to think about. Be a little bit more honest. Ask yourself who my friends are. Ask yourself who this partner is. Am I choosing them because I value them, or am I choosing them because it's better than being alone? And if I'm choosing them for that, what does that say about me? How good of a person am I actually to be choosing another person that I don't value, and basically holding them up and taking time from them? All right, so just something to think about, okay? New merch is going to be dropping soon, so stay tuned for that. It is fall season, so it's hoodie weather. And I'm really excited to share some things with you guys, all right? Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. and take flight.